Okay, folks, I'd like to welcome you to another post-game conversation where you get to hear directly from Tribe Football alums. For this episode, we have Mr. Al Tafro. How you doing, Al?
I'm great. How you doing tonight?
I'm good. I'm good. I've really enjoyed our conversations. It seems like we're like old friends. And so I'm excited to get this going. And I think this is going to be a treat for everyone.
Okay, let's go.
Let's do it. Okay, let's start out. Tell everybody what year you graduated, what position you played, and your major.
I graduated in 1980. I played wide receiver and punt returner, and I was an economics major.
All right. And and Al, you had a pretty cool journey to William and Mary coming from New Jersey. Um, Set to go to a whole nother school. Tell everybody about your journey to William and Mary.
Yes, my parents were pretty set on me going to an Ivy League school in New Jersey, that Princeton school, the Tigers there. I was a pretty good student, and that was where they thought I was headed until coach showed up at high school and said, maybe you want to come and visit William and Mary. And I said, sure. Took the recruiting trip. I left New York. It was about 10 degrees in January. Got to Williamsburg. It was 65 and sunny. It just happened to be that first weekend back when at that time, all the fraternities had these huge parties. Um, Had a great host, got to meet a lot of guys on the team. Flew home and gave my parents the bad news that I wasn't going to Princeton. I was going to William and Mary. And they said, no, you're going to Princeton. And I said, no, I'm going to William and Mary because I had a good trip there. I like the guys on the team there. Um, and I didn't have, in my experience, when I visited with Princeton, the guys there on the team were very negative about their program and about a lot of things there. So that's how I ended up at William and Mary.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm glad that you I think we're all glad that you got there. So you get to William and Mary, and it's a new experience. It's more southern than you've ever been. Tell us about your experience at William and Mary, Al.
Well, I enjoyed it very much. I was very fortunate to be able to travel with the team as a freshman because perhaps I was the only one foolish enough to want to be a punt returner. And they kept trying to recruit guys to do that. And I raised my hand and they said, all right, you got the job. Uh, so I traveled as, a freshman and did punt returning and really got to know, the older guys on the team and really, solidified some great relationships with those people. And then after that season, I was actually recruited as a back. They came and they said, "Listen, we need somebody, some more guys out at wide receiver. You probably can play right now if you go out there." I said, "Well, really wasn't anything I had really done before, whatever." But they said you can catch punch, you can probably catch passes. Um, and so I became a wide receiver and went from there. I had the good fortune of playing for, two of the, really outstanding quarterbacks, Tommy Rosance for 3 years and, or for, 2 years, and then Chris Garrity for my last year. And both of those fellows played in the pros. So they were really they were outstanding players, and I continually apologize to them for my I wasn't really at their standard. So I wish you had a better wide receiver than me, but that's that's the way it
Yeah,
was.
yeah,
But
yeah,
we
yeah.
had a lot of fun, and we did some some interesting things. But
Yeah. Yeah. I think you got a couple of really good stories, or at least one. I'll let you figure out how many you want to tell. But I think I would be remiss if we didn't start with the East Carolina story. I love to hear that one, and I think others would love it too.
The well, we're playing in the Oyster Bowl down in Norfolk, and we had generated this trick play where Tommy Rosance, the quarterback, would end up with some kind of bootleg and reverse and running to the right side of the field, totally fooled their defense. And I was blocking on that side, and we're about to go into, score a touchdown with, about the 15-yard line, and he's got the ball up over his head because we had totally fooled East Carolina. And a man, an elderly man in a raincoat, comes off the sideline and blindsides him and tackles him, and the ball goes rolling out of bounds. And it's like, what the heck was that? The officials gathered, they signaled touchdown. We learned later it was a former East Carolina coach who had happened to have too many probably beers that day. So he was a little, out of kilter. It was, again, there was their former head football coach who ultimately later, shortly thereafter, he requested of Coach Truth to come and apologize to our team, which he did, and we were all very gracious and very polite to him. But yeah, that was kind of interesting. That was fun. It was pretty crazy play. We had another crazy circumstance when we were playing Virginia Tech at Tech Lane Stadium, and we were beating them by 5 points. And they have the ball on about the midfield, maybe on our 45, something like that. Last play of the game, they take the ball, they throw it into our end zone. And their receiver and about 3 or 4 of our defenders jump up, and the ball bounces on the floor, on the ground, bounces up. The Tech receiver grabs the ball. Some official runs over and signals touchdown. And the stands empty out, and everybody's like, what are they kidding? The ball bounced on the ground. So for years they called it the Great Lane Robbery, but it was just, one of those plays that you can see it in your head, never forget it.
Yeah,
Just,
absolutely. Yeah.
but yeah, it was pretty crazy.
I bet. So Al, you played your last game your senior year. You hung your cleats up, your jersey for the last time, and then what? Tell us about your journey, post William and Mary.
My journey post William and Mary took me to New York to accept a job with the Chase Manhattan Bank in a bank training program. At the time, the Chase Bank was the bank. They were the big bank in the world. It was an outstanding training program. Of course, I had to get in there in the first class. I get right at it. I'm in the June class, and I show up, and it's me, and there may have been 15 of us. The other 14 were all Ivy League guys. They had much fancier suits, much fancier ties, the whole deal. I was this, kid from Jersey who went to school down south, and I could tell I was not. They didn't think I was the right country club material yet. But after a few weeks, I got to know some of them. And I would say, "Can you guys tell me exactly what you did for 4 years in college? Shit about business, about economics, about accounting, about how to do anything. I mean, did somebody do everything for you in college or what?" The point being, it gave me tremendous confidence because then I knew that I had received really an outstanding education at William and Mary. I was as smart as my grandparents thought I was, perhaps. I don't know, like they say, "Oh, you're a smart kid," and you gain some confidence because now you really see it, where you're with these people from the best schools in the world. And I said, you know what, it's really up to me because, whatever I decide to do, I know I can do it. So that experience, I stayed with the bank about a year, and then went to law school, and became a real estate lawyer, which is what I wanted to do. I was fortunate enough to get a job with a firm that really focused on, real estate work. Um, and was very, was very fortunate in that regard.
And
Yeah.
so how did you end up? Because I know there's more than that. Like, how did you tell us how you ended up, and to where you are now?
Okay. So I spent about 15 years at the law firm. I had the good fortune or experience of working primarily for a gentleman who's, well, pretty well known, the Kushner family. Um, Jared Kushner, his name a lot of people know, but his father, Charles, was a lawyer in New Jersey. He was a lawyer in the firm that I went to work for. And he left the firm a few months after I joined the firm. And I had just gotten sworn in to be a lawyer in December of 1984. And I get a call from the managing partner to come to his office. I think I'm getting fired. And when I get down there, he says, Al, please close the door. I close the door. Now I really think I'm getting fired. He says, I have good news and bad news. What do you want first? I said, Mr. Hammer, give me the bad news. He says, that's a good choice, Al. He said, the bad news is Charles Kushner will leave the firm in 2 weeks. I said, and there's good news in that? He says, well, the good news is, he says, in 3 months, he'll be the most active real estate developer in New Jersey. And only me and you work on his stuff. I said, Mr. Hammond, could you repeat that, please? He said, you heard me, Al. He likes you. So for the next 6 years, I got an unbelievable education in the real estate business by working for the New Jersey real estate titans, as I refer to them, the Kushner family, the Wilfs, the Peter, Ambrosi, Cocosiello. I was working for the big guys because the firm was well known. The senior partners were outstanding people, outstanding businessmen. They were super smart guys.
Wow.
So it was like I really hit the jackpot there. I'll never forget the day I got my first job there. They gave me this cursory interview because a family friend recommended me. And then they were showing me the door, and then I gave them the little bit of BS. I said, I think I forgot something in Mr. Hammer's office. So I went back, walked in. Thankfully, he wasn't on the phone. Nobody else was in there. I walked in, I closed the door. I gave him my best 2 minutes, and he just stared at me. It seemed like forever.
Yeah.
And he just said, if you're half as good as that, you'll make a good lawyer here. He said, you can start Monday. And that's how I got my job there. And from then on, Mr. Kushner took a liking to me. So I got an incredible education because as a young lawyer, you learn by doing, right? When you start, you don't know anything. You learn by doing transactions and, all the stuff that happens. So I was very, I'm one of those people who feel very fortunate in my life. It sounds Pollyanna, but, I was blessed with, with good family. I had tremendous teammates in high school, tremendous teammates in college, got a great education, got good fortune in my, first working experience at the law firm. And then after 15 years there, I left to join a real estate company to become a minority partner in some shopping center development and things like that. And that's my daytime job. Along the way, one of my boyhood friends, I was his lawyer and ultimately became his partner in restaurant businesses. So we operate a number of franchised restaurants. Primarily, the ones in casinos do very well. So we have casino restaurants. We jokingly say we're international. We have one in Windsor, Canada, which is crazy.
That's cool.
We have one at the big joke up here was there used to be commercials for the Mount Airy Lodge, these silly commercials on television. They've since transformed it into actually a pretty nice place. So we've got some there.
Nice.
But it's a long way of saying I really have like two full-time gigs. It
Right,
kind of
right.
annoys my family, except they sometimes appreciate the benefits of it. But you're always working, Dad. You're always working. So it's like one of those things. Be careful what you start, because once you start it, I don't have
Hard
to
to,
tell you. You're
yeah,
right. You started it, and now it's like, okay, now what? How do I stop this? But I've been very
that's
fortunate
awesome.
with tremendous business partners.
Yeah,
Uh, like I said, my partner in the restaurant stuff is a boyhood friend, and he is just outstanding businessman, outstanding partner. And
yeah,
I've had the same good fortune in on the real estate side. So,
that's great.
and again, a lot of that, is a tribute back to my what I consider to be a great education at William and Mary.
So Al, you've had a wonderful road. You're a very modest guy, and I appreciate that. Is there anything you want to leave with folks?
I would just say that the college, again, it afforded me tremendous education, made lifetime friends there, from the program, from the football team, and everything at the college. Um, and from what I've seen coming back, I haven't been able to come to as many games as I would like, but it seems really positive what's going on with the program and what coach is doing there now. It seems like there's a lot of enthusiasm and some outstanding athletes, real talent on the team. So as an alum, that makes you very proud.
Not bad. Well, thank you so much for this opportunity. I look forward to staying in touch with you and hopefully see you at a game, or maybe if I'm randomly in New Jersey.
You
Uh,
bet. You know where to find me
yeah,
anytime, any way I can help you. Or players. I'm
that's great.
open to trying to be of help to others, because I got help along the way for sure, for
Absolutely.
sure.
Thanks again.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.